So you guys want to know dates and everything for the orientation. I don't mind. I've got it all written down here. This is the second time I have to make this video and I'm pretty tired, man. Make sure that you like, man, and subscribe because I am working hard here for you guys. I enjoy it. It is what it is. I chose to take on the burden of this performance, so without further ado, let us begin. So, I sent my application August 5th, and my first day graveyard shift was September 13th. Okay, so a little over a month for me. For you, maybe different. Like I said, it depends what's in your background, in your work history, how many different employers you've had, etc. How much, they need to be looking into you is gonna, really that's what would hold you up, is drug screen, background. That's pretty much what's gonna hold you up. And then in the beginning, not being on top of it and calling the recruitment lines, trying to get through to somebody who's gonna be giving you an interview. So August 5th, I sent my application. August 6th, okay, look out on your application because you're going to need to confirm, all right? So once you finish your application, make sure you're doing it on a laptop and not on your phone because things can get confusing, all right? And it can be difficult to input, especially when it comes to your work history, okay? So look out for that. But when you finish your application, you're gonna get an email. You have to click here on the email. All you have to do is type in your social security, send, and that submits your application indefinitely. Okay, it won't submit it the first time until you do that. So look out for your email. I didn't catch it till the following morning. So the following morning, August 6th, I sent that and put and here comes this guy. Come on, buddy. I need you out the way. This freaking guy. Go on, Motorhead. Kick rocks, bud. Going around sniffing my phone and stuff, man. So then I got a phone call. So that was August 6th. Then I finally got a phone call from Bobby Thomas. Now, between August 6th and August 10th, I was constantly calling the recruitment line 3 times a day. Finally got a call back from Bobby Thomas, who would be my future interviewer. He told me to text message him the next day on August 11th, my nephew's birthday. So I did. He said that he was still in training. He'd get back to me. He wasn't able to. So I was pretty frustrated and contacted him again the next day and on August 12th. And he set me up for an interview on Saturday at 11 a.m. I went for home time with my sister in Ohio and her husband that weekend and had my interview Saturday at 11 a.m. via FaceTime. He was all the way in California. Okay, one thing that you guys can take away from my interview, something you can say that he really liked, he's gonna ask you, or any interview is gonna ask you how you deal with stress, and you can use an acronym, STOP, stop, think, observe, and plan. He really liked that answer and liked the experience on top of that I already had, which was the 1 year flatbed, 1 year with vans. So he said, look out for text messages and emails. So through this entire process, make sure that you're constantly checking both of those things. And they'll be pretty direct and let you know if they're gonna send one or not, okay? And make sure when you call that you're getting details from them because they're looking for people that are competent, not just submitting an application and letting it ride, because those people, they don't make it. He said he liked the way that I pushed constantly. I didn't push too much. Like I said, call maybe 3 times a day if you're not getting answers and you'll get answered. That's what those recruiters are there for. They're not there to actually recruit. They're there to help human resources with serious applicants. Okay, they're not calling and bugging you like CRST and CR England and all those, Western Express. Okay, it's not like that. So that interview went well. Come Monday, I expected something for backgrounds. Nothing happened until Wednesday, and I was still in Ohio. So the backgrounds process began. and I was contacted by Brianna, who took care of my background process. And she called me and let me know to look out for her email so that I could log into Clearinghouse and accept ABF's request for background search. So I did that, and then actually that same day, they let me know that there was something in my application. So that's why I'm telling you, the problem in the application was in employment verification dates. I had a gap. There wasn't supposed to be a gap. Since I did the application on my phone, it mixed up like a phone number for one employer and put it into another employer. It was really weird. And then the dates got mixed around, addresses got mixed around, but it was cleared up in an email. I didn't have to do the application all over again. So if you encounter the same thing, you're only going to encounter that if you do it on your phone. Make sure you do it on your laptop. As an over-the-road truck driver, it can be difficult. I know. Get yourself a laptop, man. Or home time. Do this on home time. You know, it's frustrating being over the road and taking care of this crap. It really is. But, you know, hey, if you want to succeed, you're going to get it done no matter what, right? So the background process began on the 18th. I finally cleared on the 24th. Now, between that time, okay, your background investigator is going to give you her or his phone number. So check in once a day, see how it's going. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. If you can't get through, make sure you speak to one of the recruiters. They can give you some information too. But by the time you're in backgrounds process, really the only one that can answer your question is the actual background investigator, okay? And you can always refer back to your interviewer, whether that's Bobby Thomas or whoever else. Background process beginning, that was the 18th, and then I finally cleared on the 24th. Now, between that time, they let me know Melton Truck Line still had not. They were only waiting for Melton to verify employment. That's all they're doing in background is verifying employment and making sure you're not a criminal, you don't have felonies or anything like that, because they don't want that. And then also on the 24th, as I cleared backgrounds, the drug screen forms were also sent to me. And you can go and get that done 24 hours a day, at least for Southern California. I can't speak for anybody else. You know, I know there's people watching there in Phoenix and Texas. Some of you guys in New York, I received emails from. I think a few people in Florida. I don't know how it goes over there, man. I can only tell you how it goes for the drug screens in Southern California. I could walk in anytime I wanted. So I was already back in LA on Wednesday, the 25th, I think it was. Yeah, the 25th. And I was pretty sick. And I went Friday, 2 days later, to actually do the drug screen. It was quick. I was in and out, man, a couple hours, man. And then I cleared on August 30th. My drug screen was performed on August 27th. And August 30th, I received the text message for the road test appointment, 9:30 a.m. on September 1st, just a few days later. And that was a Wednesday. So the road test was at 9:30 a.m. September 1st. I went and I completed that. Yes, you do have to back a 28-foot trailer to the dock. I have a whole video on that. Upper right-hand corner of your screen. You can check that out. Thursday, September 2nd, the next day after my road test, you know, basically the examiner there let me know, you know, he liked how I drove. I wasn't too, you know, I had never coupled a set before or uncoupled a set. That was my first time. But I asked a lot of questions, watched a lot of videos, and I did okay. And then, of course, the driving, I mean, I shined. You know, he loved the way I drive. He even said it. So everything's cool. As long as you guys got the experience and you're not lying, right? You don't have some sort of crazy way of, you know, cheating your application and phony numbers and all that stuff, and you're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. So after that, September 2nd, okay, receiving that text message for orientation on September 8th at 7:30 a.m. You got to bring 2 forms of ID. So just take your social security card and your CDL. That's fine. Birth certificate works too, or your passport works as well, okay? So September 8th, I went to orientation. I was there early. I was home by 3 p.m., like 3:30 p.m. And it was like 34 miles away. I was home by like 3:30. So that means I was out of there about 2:15. You don't get paid what they tell you you're going to get paid for orientation. Okay, I think I got paid like $17.50 an hour, 17 flat. Okay, as a city driver dock worker over here, it's $26.47 an hour. Okay, but you're not going to get paid that on orientation, not until your first week. And then, like I said, your first working week, my first working week was a few days later. So September 8th orientation, then September 13th was my graveyard shift. That whole week is graveyard. So Sunday night from Monday morning midnight, that's going to be your first shift. Your next week is swing shift, 2 p.m., right? And that's all dock work. So they teach you how to use the forklift, load and unload the trailers. That's all your first 2 weeks. Graveyard, swing shift, and then your third week, you know, you're jumping in a truck, and you're making deliveries and all that stuff, loading and unloading your trailer to all these different stores and stuff. That's your third week. Then your fourth week is the flatbed work. And it's not a problem, man. You know, as you already know, I was with Melton Truck Lines for a year. You know, that this is nothing compared to Melton Truck Lines and all that tarping. Yeah, there's no tarping, no nothing like that. But you are going to have to use like this big pallet jack that they call a low boy. When they first said that, I thought, damn, so there's heavy haul here? Because to me, a low boy is an RGN, the removable gooseneck. But they call that forklift that goes on the back of the step deck a low boy. Because when I say step deck, they don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Like, you're talking about the step deck? They're like, oh man, that's a flatbed. I said, no, it's not a flatbed, that's a step deck. But you know, everybody calls it what they call it. It is what it is. I mean, they're calling a forklift a low boy. That's just the way it is, man. So after that, that's 4 weeks of training, and then you're out on your own. Your toward the end of your first week of graveyard shift, they'll give you your ABF ID to be able to clock in and out. That you guys are actually going to stick it out, because believe it or not, I found out today there have been over 7 drivers that have handed them back that $10,000 bonus check, and that blew me away. It's stupid. Like the Teamsters union, all these benefits, it's ridiculous. Why do you want to go out over the road or work for these companies that aren't going to cover you medically? You know, no pension, it's stupid to me. And this entire time, right, you're defending your CDL. I haven't touched a truck in over a month. Who knows what could have happened behind the wheel this month. And I've been making better money than I ever was at at night, JB Hunt and Melton Truck Lines. And I've been chilling, home every day, able to shower, right? There's my woman eating her food right now after work. There's my cat, there's my dog. I'm chilling at home, getting paid to chill. It's hard work out there, but it's better than being over the ice and snow and all that crap. And I'll work hard here, have my weekends off, because you get Saturday and Sunday off. And here's Motorhead's butt in the way again, sneezing everywhere, little buddy. So there you guys have it, man. So August 5th from when I sent my application to the first day of graveyard, September 13th. Like I said, my process, you know, was a tiny bit over a month. Yours could be longer. It depends what kind of experience you have. It depends whether you've been truthful, you know, your drug test, all that stuff. I don't know what y'all been doing, man. I don't know if you sniff lines every once in a while, you know, hair follicle, freaking all that stuff, man. I don't know if you smoke a little weed, a little every now and then. Don't be doing that, man, because you're going to look stupid and you're going to ask yourself out of a future job. If you fail a drug test with ABF, you can never, ever apply again. So it's not worth it, man. If you think you're going to fail, don't even try it. So anyways, this concludes the video, man. You're a Teamster now. I'm a Teamster now. You're about to be a Teamster if you do everything right. Mr. By the Mile, you're home for discussions based on my knowledge and experience in trucking the red-pilled survival. Take care, stay safe, get that pension. See y'all on the road.